Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and today is our podcast number 143. I got it right. It is Thursday the 10th of July 2025. Wow. Welcome one and all. It is another Thursday where we get to hang out together, showcase each other's makes, which I have quite a few of yours to showcase, of course. I'm so excited to do that. Talk to you about the week I've had since I've last seen you and just show you some of my makes. And I have gone a little bit of yarn shopping, not too much. I've been very responsible, but I will show you that as well. Talk to you about a couple of cows, some things that are coming up, you know, the usual. What we do here every Thursday pretty much, which is just collection of all the things that we do together and what I need to show you as well for the week. So without any further ado, let's get started by showcasing your makes. Get ready to be ooh and ahed, people. Let's get started. Now, our friend Geraldine from G Crochet Off the Hook. I'm sure I got that right because I haven't written it down. Geraldine, one day will be perfect. So Geraldine has been joining us in for Beanie of the Week, and last week's Beanie of the Week was the Tulip Beanie YouTube tutorial here at Coco's Crochet. Some of you have already gone across and seen it. Some of you have already made it, and I can't thank you enough. So now let's get back to Geraldine. Now, Geraldine actually blew me away because she posted her beanie pretty much as soon as the tutorial went out on Instagram, and I could not believe my eyes. It was just, oh my gosh, it just made me so happy and it was so surreal. So thank you so much, Josephine. That the joy that you brought to me that day was undescribable. So thank you for that. Now, so here are two of Geraldine's beanies. I absolutely love the way you've styled them with your very own tulips, your forever flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for, you know, making them look even more pretty. Now, Geraldine used acrylic L yarns in the colors porcelain and apple green, and Kismet Lollipop, I love that name, Kismet Lollipop yarn for the flower in the color peony or peony. I wonder how you say that properly. And Geraldine used a 6mm hook for the mummy hat and a 4.5mm hook for the toddler hat, or the mummy and me hat. So thank you so much, Geraldine, for sharing your beanies with us. I really do appreciate it. Now, next we have our friend Thea, and she already also jumped on Beanie of the Week. And let me tell you, she didn't just crochet one, but she crocheted 7 of them. So I just want to say I absolutely love all your color combos. It was so nice to see the variety because in my head I had only ever seen it in the colors that I had made it in. And I just love this. So how cute is this beanie? Thea's vision was brown for the soil, and then a row of tulips, and then blue for the sky. I just love that interpretation. I absolutely love it. So thank you, Thea, for sending in your beanies. Again, made me smile. And our friend Shirley, she also joined in Beanie of the Week. Thank you so much, Shirley. And Shirley crocheted a row of purple tulips and a row of pink tulips for her beanie. And I absolutely love seeing it in the 2 different color combinations as well. Both beautiful color choices. Purple. Shirley says that she found the tutorial to be easy to follow and full of good detail. Shirley, thank you so much, and I absolutely love your beanie. Thank you. Now, next we have our friend Barbara. Now, Barbara has sent in 5 makes. Now, this mosaic Afghan is a, forgive me for this, Tina Thodidotter Thovolado. Anyway, you all know who this amazing designer and crocheter is here on YouTube. She does all the beautiful mosaics. Now, the yarn is from Hobby Lobby, and it is a very thin chenille-like yarn, and it's very silky, tells us Barbara. And she says that this is truly one of the softest Afghans ever. I absolutely imagine it would be, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for sharing that one with us, Barbara. And now this flower Afghan is made from the Red Heart Flower Power yarn. Barbara was pleasantly surprised, she tells us, that it worked out. The edge is double crochets in 2 rounds, and then the last round has 2 double crochets in each stitch to give it the ruffly look, and the corners are double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, something like that, to, you know, so they don't, you know, buckle up or whatever the word is. I think it's such a beautiful and very, very pretty Afghan, and I hope that this yarn makes its way to Australia, just like the all-in-one granny square yarn did. It took about 2 years, so I think this has been out for about a year, so fingers and toes crossed we get it to travel all the way down here to Australia as well. Now, Barbara, we continue with Barbara's makes. So this beaded blanket was made using pony beads. It's a weighted blanket designed by This Southern Girl Can. Barbara found this to be a fun make. I imagine it would have been. And Barbara finished the blanket with 1 row of slip stitch, 1 row of single crochet, and 1 row of the crab stitch. I absolutely love the all beaded blanket. I love anything that's got beads in it. Now, this is a gorgeous bouquet of flowers Afghan. It is just so, so pretty. It is quite long, but I couldn't get it all in the frame. I wanted you to see the detail of all the flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. And now look at these fun beaded bracelets. I absolutely love the gorgeous colors in your beads there, Barbara. Thank you so much for sharing all your gorgeous makes with us. Now, my goddaughter Sophia, she has sent in her make. Now, look at this super chubby and super cute little bunny. Sophia used Motivera blanket yarn for the bunny. The dress and the bow are Milans, and it looks like Burnout Mystical in the color Phlox, tells us Sophia, Phlox. All the yarn was purchased at a Spotlight sale, which makes the bunny so much more satisfying, tells us Sophia. And I totally agree with you. Absolutely. Now, the eyes are 30 millimeters and they're purchased from Temu. This bunny is off to her forever home this weekend, as she is a gift for Sophia's niece for her ballet themed party. Absolutely love that. So thank you, Sophia, for sharing your little chubby bunny with us. Now, our friend Pearl has been busy as well. She sent in a couple of her makes. Now, this beautiful blanket is for Pearl's granddaughter, whose favorite color is green. Pearl used Big Twist in 3 shades of green and the color Ivory for a contrast. The border is moss stitch all the way around. Now, to complete the ensemble, Pearl made a pillow to match. This is all for her granddaughter's new bedroom. And I'm sure your granddaughter will absolutely love her little ensemble there. Thank you, Pearl. Now, Pearl also made a scarf and a hat set for her donations pile. Pearl used Red Heart white speckle yarn, and it's so very, very pretty, that little set. And Pearl, you are very, very generous and kind to be donating to your community and taking the time to crochet such beautiful items. So Pearl, thank you for sharing your makes with us. Now, our friend Kim, she has been busy knitting and crocheting because she's by Stitchel. She's very, very clever. Now, here is a pretty little knitted dress. Kim used King Cole Cherish Baby DK yarn in the color Sherbet. It is so pretty. And now here is a crocheted baby blanket. Kim used King Cole DK yarn in the shade number 7 and Stylecraft Special DK in the colors Lemon and Cream. They are both so beautiful. Thank you, Kim, for sharing your makes with us. Excuse me. Now, our friend Diane, she also crocheted 4 beanies of the week of the Tulip beanie, and thank you so much. I really do appreciate that you took the time to look at the tutorial and actually send in your beanies. And I'm pretty sure the red one is yours. Let us know, Diane, because I know red is one of your favorite colors, I'm pretty sure. Now, Diane was with her granddaughter and daughter-in-law, so she made each one like a mummy and me, and Dolly makes 3. I absolutely love that. Diane used Hobby Lobby yarn with a 5.5 millimeter hook, a 4.5 millimeter hook, and a 3 millimeter hook for the different hats, beanie sizes. And I absolutely love that story. I just love it. Thank you, Diane, for always joining in Beanie of the Week. Now, Diane has sent us in some other makes as well. Another make. So Diane crocheted this swim bag for her darling granddaughter. Diane used her granddaughter's favorite color, which is pink, and she used Lily's Sugar and Cream 100% cotton yarn. It is a free pattern from Stephanie Z on YouTube, and she used a 5mm hook. Now, the size fits her granddaughter perfectly, who loves carrying her best friend Minnie when she isn't using it for swimming. That is so precious. Thank you for sharing that with us, Diane. And last but not least, our friend Josephine has been very, very busy crocheting some cute amigurumi, which are going to donation to her local community. I just love that, Josephine. That is very kind of you. Now, here you'll see, you'll have to pause it, guys. Sean the sheep, Albert the pug, a pig, a frog, a loaf cat, a tofu turtle, a Mabel chicken, an octopus, a leggy frog, and Luigi the goldfish. I absolutely love them all. Thank you for sending in all the stats, Josephine. I loved reading that, and one day, if I'm ever going to be as productive as you, I think the first thing I'd like to make is Luigi the goldfish. So thank you for sending them in to us. Now, Josephine also made this swirling bag that Terry from Yarn Joy podcast made. Josephine used 4-weight red heart yarn with a 5mm clover or more hook. I absolutely love your color choices for that bag, Josephine, and it looks quite sturdy. It doesn't look like, you know, anything would poke through it and that. So thank you so much for sharing your makes with us. Now, each and every one of you, thank you for the oohs and the ahs. And I know that most of us have added something to our crochet to-do list. Never, ever ending. But I really do appreciate that you all took the time to send them in. And if any of you have something that you want to send in to share with us, please don't hesitate. I say this every week. Just email me your makes and I'll be sure to showcase them the next podcast that is available. Wonderful. So let's get on to Beanie of the Week. As you can see, I'm referring to my clipboard and I'm going to make sure that I don't miss a thing this week. Stay on task, Litza. So Beanie of the Week. Let me show it to you and then I'll let you know a little bit about it. I actually think it's such a good mate, like a nice textured beanie, and you will be surprised how quick and easy it is to make. Absolutely love it. So this Beanie of the Week is it's actually called the Bailin Beanie, but in the title of the tutorial it says fast and easy super chunky beanie, and it's at Days Crochet. So of course I'm going to link that in the description box for you. I wonder how many of you will join in and what your thoughts will be about the beanie. Now, I just have this bag of mill ends, which I think it's the second bag that I've got of it, and I hope it doesn't run out because it is one of my favorite chunky yarns. It's just an acrylic, but it's got a tweed effect, or not tweed, I guess. Yeah, maybe. So what it's called, it's got the flecks of like caramel and chocolate through it. I absolutely love this yarn. And you use, oh, it's so soft and squishy. You use a 9mm hook from memory and it just crochets up so very fast. It is a beanie that you turn as you work, so there's a right side and a wrong side, and that's how you get that effect here without making baubles or anything like that. So I highly recommend that you go and check it out. Let me know what you think. So that's Beanie of the Week for this week. Now next, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. So as a lot of us have, I've also joined in with our friend Cassandra at Craftably Ever After with her bear in a box. It's like hashtag bear in a box cowl. It is a surprise one, which every week we get a new pattern for 4 weeks. So I'm pretty sure there's 4 weeks in July. Where is my Golden Girls calendar? I need to find that. So yeah, 4 weeks. The first week we had to make the bear, of course. So I have my bear here. Now, if you haven't already started, there's plenty of time to catch up. Only the second week came out this Tuesday. The patterns, you get them for free. Beautiful PDF. Is that what it's called? Like a printout from Cassandra's blog. So make sure you go and check that out. and here it is here. Now, she did say in the very first video, introduction video, that she hadn't had this tested at all, and that someone mentioned that there was a small change to it, which she told us about. There's fluffs flying around. So she said, look, please forgive her, because if there's any changes, she'll let us know. So keep an eye out on her community page as well, community tab. That might pop up. But some people are saying the change wasn't necessary, and all it is to do was with a muzzle. So the bare muzzle, it just needed to be an extra row. And I absolutely love him. Look at him. Oh my gosh. I made the sitting version. Look at that, guys. You can actually make him just standing, and it's a very different way. And I'll talk to you about his legs in just a moment, but I just wanted you to see his very precious face. I think his ears might be a little, I had to sew on the ears twice. I just wasn't sure what to do. Look at that, he's waving. Now, when my son saw him, and I have to say I agree with him, and all of you Mr. Bean fans out there, and I know there's a lot of us, doesn't he look like Teddy? His teddy bear? I just love him. So, to get the legs done, I'm going to put a photo. I actually use stitch markers in each stitch to show me the back and the front loop, because I used this beautiful colour, perfect colour. It's called Teddy from Motivera, the blankie yarn, and it's very soft. And then for the muzzle here, I used just some mill ends. And again, this is super soft. I think it's just Bernat blanket yarn, I'm guessing. Now, back to the legs. So I did pin them all the way around, and then that just made it easy for me to see where to put each stitch, because as you can imagine, mine is a big bear. He's not a little bear in a little box. I'm going to have to find a bigger box for him. Somewhere around here I must have one, because Cassandra made hers with 8/6 or 8/4 Hobie cotton, of course, and I've made mine with a 7mm hook and blanket yarn, because, you know, I'm big, what is it, go big or go home style. And I do like, you know, that he's so cuddly and soft. I can't wait to see what outfits, or if there is an outfit coming, I will be so excited. But back on track. So with the legs, I did, you know, I put the stitch markers in, and then when I crocheted around it, you could see that, you know, after that you could quite easily pick up your stitches. So that's a tip for you if you haven't already made him, or if you're going to make sitting down legs for your any toy and you're using blanket yarn, unless you're really good at, you know, identifying the front and the back loop. For me, they just smush into one, so that's why I had to do that. And now my other thing that I did, we all think about what are we going to put in the neck to make it sturdy, so he doesn't flop around too much. Of course, when you do that, you shake him, he will. But I actually had this idea about 6 months ago, and I've been collecting corks from like champagne or wine whenever I'm somewhere and someone's opened a bottle, friends of course. Then I actually leave them to air dry, so any smell that they might have from the alcohol dissipates. And these have been around, I think, from last September. So we're well into what, July? Nearly a year, so 10 months in. There is no smell at all. But I've got a photo to show you where I actually put it in before I stuffed it properly. And by sheer luck, I think, the opening for the neck, because it's one piece, you crochet it all the way up. You just add the ears, the muzzle, and the arms. You sew them on. It was the perfect opening. But I'm sure that you could make it work if you had a thinner cork. Maybe you could just pat around it more. So that is a little tip. Don't throw away your cork, your corks from your drinks, whatever they may be, but leave them to air dry in the sun, or like I had them in a container, just air drying, you know, for months and months before I used them. And there is no smell whatsoever attached. So no little baby will get drunk from the smell if they're playing with this. So Cassandra, thank you so much for inviting us to join in this cowl. I could not wait for it, and I hope to be able to keep up. Now, week 2, I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen the video as yet. Cassandra has, I'm just going to pop him down, has put out what we can make for week 2. And one of the things was a blanket for our little teddy bear. And I have to tell you, I was very happy to hear that, because Cassandra did say we could just dip into, you know, go creative with our make. Use the one, the blanket that she made, or just use something pretty much that's lying around. And I remember I had this. So this here is, look at this, the perfect size for this little teddy to cover up. I had this from when we did our Cal 2023. This is the sampler blanket. So this was for the reveal of all the stitches for everyone that wanted to know. And how perfect did that turn out? So my teddy can be a girl or a boy, it doesn't really matter. So here it is here. That's what it actually looks like. I think it's very, very pretty. And the actual blanket is over there on the back of my couch up here, or lounge. So back to the cow. So one of the things was to make a blanket, and I'm so happy that I am one step ahead for once. So my teddy already has a blanket. I just have to make a couple of the other things that Cassandra has in the box, which is great. So thank you once again, Cassandra. Excited for week 3. Oh my goodness. Now the other thing that I made this week, which I haven't gotten very far because I haven't spent too much time on it, and we'll get to that a little bit later, is this little star blanket. Now, anyone that's been here long enough knows that I don't have it with me, but there's a Premier, on the Premier website, there's an 11-point star blanket, and it's been my go-to for a while. That is so, so pretty. This will be very nice for a little baby. Now, let me tell you about the yarn. Okay, there's a fun story attached to this. So Spotlight has had this yarn here, which is, so this brand actually, Draper James, on sale now for maybe a month, and it was buy 3 for $10, which is an amazing price. But all the others, I was touching them and feeling them, even the cottons. I thought I've got plenty. But this one here, I absolutely fell in love with this yarn because it's got the little bobbles. Can you see those on there? And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to buy them. I was there with my friend Sonia a couple of weeks ago, and there was a huge sale on at the time. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to buy, and I like 6. So I bought 6 of them. There's 5 here, and there's a whole one in here. And I am using the recommended hook size, which is 5.5 millimeters, because I didn't want it to be too holey for a baby. So it is making a beautiful fabric. But the funny story is this. Oh my goodness, I had a yarn haul from Spotlight a few weeks ago, and I'm trying to remember who did the comment. There was a comment about this yarn. Because I said we had seen Joanne Big Twist, the big fat chunky yarn there, and I think it's like Always Learning, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, left a comment to say that this yarn here was also Joanne yarn. And I thought, oh wow, they're sending all the, whatever was left over after Joanne in America closed down. They've shipped some here and all over the world, which I thought was great. I didn't buy any at the time, but now I just had to. But the funny story is still coming. Oh my gosh, Litsa. So I have been binge watching Katie at the Celestial Homebody all week, and one of her shop with me, something like that the title was, she went to Joanne just before they closed down, and there were people flocked around whatever small amounts of yarn was left on the shelves, and it happened to be this brand here, Draper James. So I thought to myself, this was the absolute last yarn to go in America, and here we have the remnants of it, and we're thinking how special we are to be able to get it. So isn't it funny? Someone's junk is someone else's treasure. Is that the saying? But it is beautiful yarn. Don't get me wrong. It is super soft, and I don't regret buying it. Now, speaking of Katie, the Celestial Homebody, okay, if you have not hung out with her, and especially if you're into markets, you need to go and hang out with her. Katie, if you ever watch this, you, Ryan, baby Celeste, the dogs, Paisley, and I can't remember the other one, I'm absolutely in love with your little family. I feel like we're family now, or best friends. I'm telling you, I'm not a stalker. I have a very rich life of my own, but hanging out with you for the last 3 days, I have binge watched every single one of the videos. I know all about the Renaissance Fair. I know all about Comic-Con, what goes on. It's just amazing. So guys, if you have some time, to feel I highly recommend hanging out with Katie and her little family. They are amazing. So other than recommending you go to see her, you know, like I said, I'm obsessed. Not quite obsessed, but I have really enjoyed hanging out with her. So I thought I'd share that with you, just in case you wanted to. We can all be one big happy family. So that's the star blanket, and I will finish that off. And hopefully, I'm hoping, I don't know how we'll go, how big I'll go, because there's only 5 balls left. I might be able to make something to go with it. If it's enough for a little dress or a little cardi for a baby, I might be able to sneak that in as well, squeeze that in. Otherwise, I'll use it all for the blanket. We'll see how much more yarn I use before I have to say, okay, it's big enough now. Now, what's the other thing here that I have? Okay, that's pretty much it for the makes, and I'll tell you in a minute why I haven't made anything else. Now, a lot of you have already tuned into the video, the favorite songs video, the tag that's going around YouTube at the moment. Spring the Fiber Enthusiast tagged us, and I have to tell you, if you haven't watched it, you need to, because Steve is the special guest, and let me tell you, he steals the show. So I highly recommend you go and watch that video. I'll pop it in the description box. Now, this is the reason why I haven't been I haven't got more to show you, is because since Monday, and I've been on school holidays since Monday, this whole week I'm doing a 60-hour challenge. So that vlog, because it's going to be vlog style, my first vlog ever, so be kind when you watch that and hang out with me, will probably come out on Saturday or Sunday, but definitely this weekend, so keep an eye out for that. I've been very, very busy with that one. Now this Saturday, very important, we're going to announce our hashtag Birthstones Cal 2025, our Stitch Markers winner. I cannot wait for that, so tune in for that one as well. And now I'm going to share with you just some yarny acquisitions. Not very many, but I do have 2 friends to say they made me do it. So Thea sent me an email to say that Big W was having a very big yarn sale, and at first I giggled because I thought, Thea, there's nothing in Big W, especially mine, but I couldn't resist. Of course, when I got to the shops, I went into Big W and I did have a look around, and I've bought 3, very responsible once again. So I have never seen the Sierra yarn on sale. It's always $10. It's been $10 now for the last 5 years, but it was down to about $7.20, and I haven't bought the Sierra Chunky before. And it is nice and chunky, and I thought that would make an amazing beanie. So I bought one of those. This one is the colorway. Let's have a little look, see. I just went, it's funny, everything has like a green flavor to it, vibe. Oh, that's right, they don't do colors. This is color number 3498. So I got that one, and then all of these, none of these have colors, numbers. None of them have colors on them. How boring. Anyway, and then I bought this one. This one is so much fun, and it's called Fun Shine. I think I had something similar in Yarn of the Month. When I walked away with it, it kind of reminded me of it, the fluffiness of it, and it actually was a super soft yarn, and this is super soft. Panda is actually a very good brand. So this one here was on sale, I think, for around $4. So the Sierra was $7.35, and this one was $4.50, which I think is beautiful. And this one here was $5.20. Now this is the Shawn Sheep Serene Tweed, and this is the one that Thea used for her Birthstones Cal, and I was like, oh wow, that was beautiful yarn. She said it's very similar to the Hobie Miss. Which one was it? I know which one it is, but I can't think of the name. Never mind. But she did say it's similar to one of the Hobie yarns, but we can't get them here anymore. So I thought I would get one of these. So Thea made me do that little bit of shopping. And then my goddaughter Sophia is to blame for this one. So Spotlight had a 50% off sale up until I think the 8th, so a couple of days ago, just over the weekend. And I actually went in there with no intention other than just to have a walk around, because it's pretty much Spotlight in here, guys. You can't even imagine what's going on behind you. But I didn't have red velour yarn or velvet velvet, I should say, the chenille. So this one here is the polar chenille, and this was down to, I think, $3, no, $4 instead of $8, which I think is insane. $8 for one of these because it's only 100 grams. So I bought 3 of those because I like to make my little ladybugs, use lady beetles with this and some black, but I didn't have any red. I point there because that's where all my velvet yarns are. And then the millions were down to $7. I can't believe full price for millions is now $14. But look at these colors. I just had to. I just wish there were more. The lady actually, Carol, she was so nice. She went in the back for me. I haven't seen this before. How gorgeous is that orange in blanket yarn I'm talking about? And then look at these. Oh my gosh. So these are actually gorgeous. I do not know what I'm going to make with them yet, but I think I might hold off until I find more in these colors only. And then these two. Oops. Perfect match. Love this blue. So that blue and orange, they were a real find, which I absolutely love. So Sophia, thank you for making me go shopping. But I did shop very responsibly, guys, because as we know, I have more than enough yarn. And that's a story for another day. So stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much it. School holidays are here. I'm having way too much fun. Way too many pajama days. Today might look nice and sunny. Even though the lights are here, they're sunny, but it has been freezing. My hands are frozen and the wind is just crazy. It's blown away all the pot plants. I've had to pick them up all morning. That's another story, which you're not here for, obviously. You're here for the crochet and the yarn. So I did give you some crochet and some yarn, and that's pretty much it. I hope you're all keeping well. I keep forgetting to ask you that. So I'm not sure. I think that some parts of our world have been in a little bit of sadness, so I hope that that's all cleared and everyone is dealing with the situations at hand. I'm very sorry that you had to go through that. I'm very fortunate here, have nothing to complain, thank you God. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope you're all taking good care. Until I see you all very, very soon, take care and bye-bye for now.